Start off our show with You Can Move Me by The Briefs. You're listening to the Punk Rock Demonstration. I'm Jack, and we're back with another week of punk rock. Plenty of punk rock. We're here every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time over at punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. We've got a new show every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, Fuzzkill Radio. Carrie Allen hosts that show, and they've started broadcasting last Wednesday. That was their first show on the station, Punk Rock Demonstration. So check them out every Wednesday, 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. Pacific time over at punkrockdemo.com. Let's continue with our show called Punk Rock Demonstration here on Punk Rock Demonstration Radio. Let's continue with some pipes and pints now. This song's called Kensington Club.
Always on
That was the Zero Boys with Put Some Lipstick on It, and I heard some Cat and the Underdogs with Friends, the Loose Screws with Three Kinds of Love before Cat and the Underdogs, and Strung Out with Vanity before the Loose Screws. They said there was going to be heavy rain on Sunday, and that didn't happen to be the case. I've been hearing a lot about AI here and there and everywhere. Seems everyone is into AI except for me. Not quite interested in that stuff. Still kind of like doing stuff myself, but we'll see how long that lasts. Sort of like social media and all that stuff. Everyone hated social media at the time, and then just somehow social media sucked everyone in and made it so if you didn't have social media, you couldn't communicate with anyone. Hopefully that won't happen with AI, but it's getting there where everyone is like, you're not using AI? That brings us to this next song by the Tsunami Bots. This song's called AI.
for the human race! like us, misguided by a loss, torn and terrified. So if you're looking for trouble, please do so if you can, 'cause the fucking sun will somehow shine on the righteous man. I'm alive, I won't back down, never forever. Alive and not backing down, never forever, no. I'm alive, I won't back down, never forever. Alive and not backing down, never forever, no. Never forever, no. Never forever, no. Never forever, no. Never forever. I got a heart full of pride. Don't know where I'm going, but I know where I am from. You got a brain full of sight. Living on the know doesn't mean you're a punk. Be proud to be punk. Be proud to be psycho. Or maybe a skinhead. Believe in the spirit. Whatever you are, you're wanting to be. I don't give a fuck if you live it for real. I'm not a part of this scum. Fed by the welfare, by the hand they wanna bite. I don't want them to sing our songs. The scorched cars will never be on our side. Be proud to be punk, be proud to be psycho, or maybe a skillet. Believe in the spirit, whatever you are, you're wanting to be. I don't give a fuck, you leave it for real. You gotta fight for your pride. Stay the soul in the flesh of a square society. Yeah, son, you got the might. Never live a beggar's life the wild way. Be proud to be punk, be proud to be psycho, or maybe a skinhead. Believe in the spirit, whatever you are, you're wanting to be. I don't give a fuck if you leave it for real. Be proud to be punk, be proud to be psycho, or maybe a skinhead. Believe in the spirit, whatever you are, you're wanting to be. I don't give a fuck, you leave it for real. There's a man waiting for words to make it through the day, and a woman in anxiety asking for the way. And there's a number and account of the unemployed you see, and his fingers doesn't add. We need something to do to be free. You're waiting for tomorrow. You're waiting for the day to come. You're waiting for sorrow. You're waiting, oh deaf and dumb. You're waiting, oh deaf and dumb. You're waiting, waiting, oh deaf and dumb. With a number in your hand, waiting for your turn. That's a plan for action. Ha! You will never learn. That election day will come. Activities forced on you, so that when the numbers count, they're better but never true. You're waiting for tomorrow. You're waiting for the day to come. You're waiting for sorrow. You're waiting, oh deaf and dumb. You're waiting, oh deaf and dumb. You're waiting, waiting, oh deaf and dumb. Waiting for tomorrow, waiting for the day to come. You're waiting for sorrow. You're waiting, oh deaf and dumb. You're waiting, oh deaf and dumb. You're waiting, waiting, oh deaf and dumb.
Heard Dead Polly's there with Waiting for Tomorrow, Tower Blocks with Proud to Be Punk before Dead Polly's, Funeral Dress with Never Forever before Tower Blocks, and some Casualties with We Are All We Have, and Bad Company Project with Misanthropist. I heard over the weekend that one of my friends, Michelle, passed away from cancer, so that was unfortunate. I'm sure many people knew who she was if you went to shows in California, because she was at a lot of them, and very nice lady. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us with that cancer stuff, so figured I'd throw that out there. Very sad stuff, but what can you do? Unfortunately, I can't seem to recall her last name at the moment, but I'm sure when I finish the show, I'll remember her last name. It's sort of like when people ask you, what's your favorite song? You can never figure it out on the spot, but then when you're not talking with them, then you can figure it out. So, yeah, at the moment, I can't seem to remember her last name, but unfortunately, she's gone, and life goes on for us. And we'll continue with a show called Punk Rock Demonstration. We'll continue with some Forsaken Prophets. This song's called Decayed.
Nothing else matters. Death drains our slasher. you? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? I never knew real sounds a story. Never had life steals my glory. As the news comes through, they'll profile you. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? I never knew real sounds a story. Never had life steals my glory. As the news comes through, they'll profile you. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Tells a story. Never had life steals my glory. As the news comes through, they're profiling. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Come on, let's go. That's audience for you. Come on, let's go. That's audience for you. Come on, let's go. Go, go, go. Get up and move. Come on, the fucking thing, go home. Alright, boy, we roll up. You is the way and watch the game. Wow, if this sounds good to you, sit back and do it again, watch it roll. You open up your right, see a new life will wait for you and me. Let's go, ask God just for you. Go, go, go. A new judicial reality. Support this also everybody's resting easy. A brand new nation, creating nation. Let's leave this place so we can live on the space station. Asgardians for you. Make love, not war. Fight war, not wars. Make love, not war. Fight war, not wars. See beauty in the ordinary. Each new day should bring new joy. This art is made for everybody. Pills of wisdom, thus devoid. Oh Corita, señorita. Oh Corita, I'm your man. Oh Corita, none so sweeter. Oh Corita, be my girl. The question to 100 answers, being modern for the times. Snitching in the supermarket, go bold and read between the lines. Oh,
majestic strokes of magic. Wonder Woman's war on want. See the message in the slogan. Behold the sermon in the font. Oh Corita, Senorita. Oh Corita, I'm your man. Oh Corita, none so sweeter. Oh Corita, be my gal. Make love, not war. Fight war, not wars. Make love, not war. Fight war, not wars.
Heard Crim there with Res de Nu, and some Demonic Fonts with O Corrida, Hail Bob Astronauts with Asgardia before Demonic Fonts, and One Way System with Serial Killer. By the way, you can find all the playlists for all these shows by going to punkrockdemo.com. This one's 1039, or February 16th, 2026. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful President's Day today, because it's President's Day holiday, and I'm wondering if Trump announced that it was his day since he's the president. But either way, hope everyone enjoyed President's Day. We're going to continue with some more punk rock and new music very shortly. We're going to continue with some Burning Lady now. This song's called Story of My Scene.
to keep limiting. Are you better fight to shut the doors? Overseas militias may proceed, escape the port. Thrown in the flame without turning the wrong turn. No one was hiring, just for them. So they made you their king. The right side of the righteous. No one's right when there's no one left, except the ones on top, high as a Georgia pine. The right side of the righteous, where war never changes. It's just the end of the end of the end of the line. Control yourself and entertainment, a mental harassment of the casual content. Pain, protest, civil arrest, record, advertisement. Some societies, white offense, platform, pump for performance. They turn the man against the feminine. Without union, there's no create. The right side of the righteous. No one's right when there's no one left, except the ones on top, high as a Georgia pine. The right side of the righteous, where war never changes. It's just the end of the end of the end of the line. Governments appear, both sides is horse. Incarcerates for the marches and forms of wars. Send shepherds for the reading immigration. More citizens in prison than any other nation. Celebration is running from the top. Screaming collapse, 17 fucking blood. The city versus state versus city profiteers. Civil war, engineered, punitive habits. The right side of the righteous. No one's right when there's no one left, except the ones on top, high as a Georgia pine. The right side of the righteous, where war never changes.
Heard two new songs there. That was Fake Friends with The Way She Goes and Undermine before them with Fifth Column. I was going to play some Zoo Party because they just released a new album called XX, but haven't confirmed that they're going to let me play the stuff, so I asked them and maybe I'll put them on the next week's show. But that album's coming out in March by Zoo Party. Right now we'll continue with some more new punk rock, but before that, before Undermine, we heard Oil Change with Lovable Losers and the Grizzly Adams Band with Better Teenaged. Now continuing with the new music, let's continue with some newer Taste Testors. This song's called I Might Be Thinking About You.
just wanna do right. But it was happening so fast. A wide world and no one to confide in. Caught on a train, trying to stay sane, trying to live through. Where should I go? How should I know? I'm just a girl, and the sun came out on 2nd Avenue. Suddenly, I knew what I had to do. Got a second chance on 2nd Avenue. Well,
you're gonna figure it out. Because you're nobody's fool. When all your homies are gone, you'll see it sucks to be cool. They're standing back on the wall. They gotta follow the rules. Died in the deepest of black. You'll see it sucks to be cool. Sucks to be cool. And now they're having a smoke. They gotta take you to school on how to like the same things. Because it sucks to be cool. Their faces all look the same. And now they're starting to drool. When you go under the knife, you'll see it sucks to be cool. 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 Too scared to step out of line. Don't wanna look like a fool. Nobody wants to talk first. Because it sucks to be cool. Surviving on the status quo. That's the safest way to go. Come on and show me your teeth. You shall be released. Sucks to be cool. It sucks to be cool. It sucks to be cool. It sucks
That was The Revolt there with Notorious P.I.G. Dwayne Regretsky was before The Revolt with Sucks to Be Cool. Drew Brothers with Fame Whore before Dwayne Regretsky. The Vivek Saugstad Band was before Drew Brothers with Second Avenue. And Blister Head with Not the Living, Not the Dead. Another new one by Blister Head. And we're listening to new music here on the Punk Rock Demonstration. These are songs that people have been sending in throughout the week over at punkrockdemo.com via various means. Emailing, submissions, physical media, all that good stuff. punkrockdemo.com. You can submit and view stuff on there and listen. You can use all your senses on the website, punkrockdemo.com. Let's continue with some Diamond and Guns. The song's called Pain and Champagne.
And I'll be wasting my time like a shitty red wine, watching messing shit on. Oh yeah! used as a career. Men in masks like it's cosplay, abducting harmless immigrants. You're crossing lines 1,000 times, shooting unarmed citizens. This isn't service. It's not standing for your country. It's a power trip disguised
99% of my t-shirts, but when a favorite falls apart, you know that it hurts. 99% of my t-shirts, I keep a few unworn from band concerts. My dad takes the old and dirty ones, some of the best I've ever had. Bubsy's car with Dee of the Ramones, but it's not so bad. I've still got the undertones. I love 99% of my t-shirts. Got Scooby-Doo, Nasser, and love comes in spurts. 99% of my t-shirts, some tight, some cat, but none like Kurt's. My mom, she uses the colored ones, cleans the windows with the lips of the Rolling Stones. Pistols playing on her headphones, and you know she's not so bad. Plays a guitar with Steve Jones. The old and dirty ones, some of the best I've ever had. Bubsy's car with Dee of the Ramones, but it's not so bad. I've still got the undertones. I love 99% of my t-shirts. I love 99% of my t-shirts. I love 99% of my t-shirts.
Brand new pair of glasses to sharpen up
We're listening to new music now, and that was Viper Time and Moron Butler with Wog and Peace. The Dolmans was before Viper Time and the Moron Butler with Ride On. Tim Izzard and the Distractions with 99% of My T-Shirts before the Dolmans, and some Dead City Monkeys with At Night, or in parentheses War Dance, and To No Avail was before Dead City Monkeys. That song's called The Real Enemy. We've got one more segment of punk rock before I end off our show called Punk Rock Demonstration. This next song is by a collaboration of a bunch of bands, it seems. It's a song by Bonsai Kitten featuring The Baboon Show plus Mad Lynx. The song's called Raise Your Glass.
angel, I'm a piece of shit, a silver-tongued devil and a hypocrite. Whenever I want something, that's what I get. If you step in my way, then you're gonna get dead. Just a man with a plan to burn the world down, and a rat that attacks anything above ground. An addict's a liar, a lunatic. The love that we made is what made you sick. I set the trap and you fell for the tricks. The son of a bitch that made your bits hits. Just a man with a plan to burn the world down, and a rat that attacks anything above ground. All of my colleagues have ended up dead. Maybe it's from all that shit that I said. Keep it in mind that I'm fucked in the head. Now I'm full of lead from that man sweating red.
The world is sick and filled with hate. I need a space to rejuvenate. Spend my paycheck on a super king, hiding from everything. Doom scrolling on a feather pillow. Spend my time lost on zero. Stage
Does the Vegas Pigeons with Keep Running, a band from Melbourne, Australia. Before the Vegas Pigeons, we heard Live With It with Left to Say, and some Corporate Plants with Bed Rotting before Live With It, and Johnny Romance with Scoundrel before Corporate Plants. And we've reached the end of the show here called Punk Rock Demonstration. We'll be back again next week at punkrockdemo.com at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, and then that show will repeat on Tuesdays from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Pacific Time. All the other shows, you can find plenty of punk rock to listen to, plenty of radio shows. Got a new one that started last Wednesday, Fuzzkill Radio with Kerry Allen from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. every Wednesday. And with that, I'll leave you with Nine Banks. The song's called What Daisy Did. And I'll talk to y'all next week. Thanks for listening.
You know I don't put my nose in other people's business. You're someone I know, and I can't afford